Hello friends, and welcome back to another What's for Dinner video. In this week's video, I'll be sharing 4 of our dinners as well as one of our favorite cakes that I make. I like to include step-by-step instructions for you guys as well as recipe links. I hope you guys enjoy this video. We started our week with some grilled lamb loin chops. I bought them at Costco and I chose the smallest or the skinniest ones. I got almost 4 pounds for our family, which was more than enough with leftovers. I'm starting off by making the marinade. I'm zesting a lemon. I'm going to chop some herbs, add some oil and spices, and the full recipe will be linked down below for you. Once my marinade has been combined, I am going to pour it over the lamb loin chops, and then I'm going to flip them over and cover the backside as well. I'm going to cover it and let it marinate for a couple hours. I like to grill my meat on medium to low heat just to make sure it gets cooked through but does not burn. While the chops are in the grill, I'm going to make some mashed potatoes, and I like to use the russet potatoes. For my mashed potatoes, I just peel them and chop them up into big chunks, and I'm going to boil them. As my potatoes are boiling, I'm also going to steam some broccoli. For my mashed potatoes, I like to use 1 stick of salted butter. I just put it in my stand mixer and then I drain my potatoes that have been cooked and put them in the stand mixer. I add some pepper and some garlic salt, and I'm going to turn the mixer on and mash everything together. Once the potatoes have been mashed and there's no large chunks, I like to scrape the bowl and start adding my hot milk. I add about 1 cup of hot milk, a little bit at a time. Potatoes are ready, and next I am moving on to the broccoli. After I steam the broccoli for about 6 minutes, I remove it and put it into a bowl with a little bit of butter. I also add salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Then I toss everything together and the broccoli is ready to serve. Whenever we are having some grilled meat, especially something that is very fatty like lamb loin chops, I love to make a fresh salad to go with that. And today I'm just doing a cucumber and tomato salad. I'm also going to add some onion and avocado to that. And I dress my salad with just a little bit of avocado oil, salt, and pepper. It's very simple but so delicious. So this is what our dinner looked like. It was so good. It was quite a treat for us for our Sunday dinner. The next thing I made this week was Italian wedding soup, and I'm starting off with the meatballs. I just put 1 pound of ground beef in a bowl with some salt, pepper, breadcrumbs, some herbs, and 1 egg. And I just whip it up in my stand mixer so that I don't have to use my hands to mix it, and then I just form the balls. In my skillet, I'm just heating up some olive oil, and I'm going to cook my meatballs. While the meatballs are cooking, I'm going to cook the veggies, and for veggies I am just using some carrots, onions, and celery. I'm flipping the meatballs to make sure that they are browned on both sides. Once they're completely cooked, I remove them from the skillet onto a paper towel lined plate to drain any excess fat. I'm continuing to stir the veggies to make sure nothing burns, and once the veggies have softened, I'm going to add my garlic. I just use my garlic press and use about 4 cloves of garlic. Then I stir everything together and I add a little bit of tomato sauce. I believe I used about a 1/4 cup, and this is not in the original recipe that I'll link below. I just feel like this soup needs a little bit of a tomato base. For the liquid, I'm going to use chicken broth, and I am using 2 32-ounce containers. I'm also going to add 4 cups of water. I'm seasoning the soup with some pepper and some salt, and then I'm going to add 1 cup of orzo as well as the meatballs back to the pot. I'm going to bring the soup to a boil, and I like to simmer the soup for about 30 minutes on medium to low heat. I love to add white wine to my soups, that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to add about 2 cups of chopped spinach. Stir everything together and it is ready to serve. Moving on to dinner number 3, roasted chicken pieces. This is one of my favorite things to make because it is so easy and so good. I'm going to add all of my chicken pieces into a bowl, and I'm going to add some oil and season the chicken with some salt, pepper, and fresh garlic. You can use any seasoning that you have on hand. I love to add paprika to give it a beautiful color, as well as this perfect blend from Costco. And then I'm going to rub in the seasoning into each individual drumsticks and thigh, and I'm going to cover this and refrigerate this for a couple of hours. I love to use parchment on the sheet for easy cleanup. I'm just placing all of the chicken pieces onto this sheet. I'm creating 1 cup of chicken broth, which I am going to mix together, and I'm going to add it to the bottom of the sheet. This is going to ensure that my chicken remains moist while it is baking. I am baking the chicken at 375 for 45 minutes. Then I'm going to take it out of the oven and flip the pieces over and put it back in the oven for 30 more minutes. This is what the chicken looks like when it is done. You still have a crispy skin, but it is also moist and it falls off the bones. Next, I am moving on to the pasta. For the pasta, I like to use some veggies, some bell peppers, onions, and mushrooms, which I just chop up into small pieces. I'm going to saute the veggies in some olive oil until they are nice and tender. While the veggies are sauteing, I'm going to cook some pasta. I love this vegetable radiatore from Trader Joe's. I'm going to cook 1.5 bags for our family of 6, just because 1 bag isn't quite 1 pound and it's not enough for us for leftovers the next day. Now that the veggies have been nicely sauteed, I'm going to season them. And I just like to season them with some salt, pepper, and paprika. And I have to add some garlic. This is going to make the pasta absolutely delicious. I also love to use this chili onion crunch from Trader Joe's, just a tiny amount for a little bit of kick because my kids don't like spicy food, but it gives it just enough flavor. This is what the veggies look like. Now this is going to make a great sauce for the pasta. I drain the pasta and I put it into this pot, and I'm going to toss everything together until all the pasta is covered in the garlicky sauce. So this is what dinner looked like. This is one of my favorite things to make on repeat. I make this at least every other week just because it's very easy and it makes great leftovers. And the last dinner of the week was some grilled chicken breasts. Now, I like to cut my chicken breasts into pieces. This ensures that the chicken cooks a lot faster and my kids can just each grab a few pieces instead of having me cut everything up for them. I'm just cutting the pieces and putting them into a large bowl. I'm adding about half a cup of mayonnaise, and then I'm going to season the chicken with some Montreal steak seasoning, some salt, pepper, and paprika. I'm going to stir everything together and put it aside. Now you can marinate this overnight or just a couple of hours. I'm grilling the chicken on medium to low heat until it is completely golden and cooked through. So this is what dinner looked like. I also made some mashed potatoes, another cucumber and tomato salad, and some watermelon for dessert. And now for the moment we've all been waiting for, the strawberry cake. This is our favorite cake that I make. I'm going to start off by making the cake layers. I'm cracking 6 large eggs into a bowl and I'm going to whisk them together. And while the eggs are whisking, I'm going to slowly add 1 cup of sugar. So this is just the eggs and the sugar. As you can see, it is very thick and fluffy. Now I'm going to add my dry ingredients, which is the flour and baking powder. And I am using a sieve to make sure there are no clumps of flour. I'm going to use a spatula to gently fold in the flour into the mixture. You do not want to use any attachments and do this with your stand mixer because this is going to completely deflate the batter. I am splitting the batter between 2 cake pans that I have lined with some parchment and sprayed with some oil. I am baking the cakes at 350 for about 25 minutes. While my cake is baking, I'm going to make the strawberry puree, which will be the filling for the cake. I just put some washed strawberries into my food processor and pulsed it together. When my cake is finished baking, I'm going to take it out and let it cool down for about 30 minutes. And then I'm going to take a knife and gently go around it and take the cake out and let it completely cool down on a cooling rack. While my cake is completely cooling down, I'm going to make my cream cheese frosting. I'm starting off by whipping 1 cup of whipping cream in my bowl using the whisk attachment. I'm going to add 3/4 cup of sugar into the whipped cream and beat it until stiff peaks form. While the whipped cream is whipping, I'm going to cut my cake layers in half, so I'm left with 4 layers. Once my whipped cream has been whipped, I'm removing it from the bowl into a smaller bowl because I need my stand mixer. I'm going to whip together 2 packages of softened cream cheese. Once it is completely whipped together and softened, I'm going to add my whipped cream back to the bowl and mix everything together, and that makes the cream cheese frosting. To assemble the cake, I'm putting the frosting on 1/2 of the cakes and the strawberry puree will be on the other half. I like to create a little border on the cake where the strawberry puree is going to be on. This ensures that it does not leak out of the cake. Then I just pop the piece with the frosting on top and repeat. This sponge cake is very soft and fluffy and airy, but it also very crummy, which makes it very hard to frost. So I always make a crumb coat first, which just means I gently spread one thin layer of frosting all over it, and then I stick it into the freezer. Once it stands in the freezer for about an hour, I take it out and I frost it, which makes it so much easier to frost because all of the crumbs are frozen. I like to decorate the cake with some halved strawberries that I just lay out in a circle on top of the cake. And as always, this full recipe will be linked down below for you. Well, here is the finished product. This is my family's favorite cake that I make. Well, this brings this video to an end. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos from me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.